I'll talk books to you like you want me to. Just in case you were not aware what's going on, my favorite author in the world, Brandon Sanderson. Let's just give a little bit of credit to Brandon Sanderson here. There is an extreme possibility that not a single one of you people watching this video would have any idea who I am if it wasn't for Brandon Sanderson. I am essentially a Brandon Sanderson grifter who has used his awesome books to be able to meet a bunch of fun people online to talk about his awesome books. I'm just a hack. But last week, Brandon Sanderson sort of did a tease where he hinted that something interesting was coming, and boy, did something interesting come. It was already a meme on the internet that Brandon Sanderson wrote so many books. I believe that his publishing average of books for the last couple years is above one book a year, and some of these books are like, they're real chonkers, they're back there. And he has this whole interconnected world of fantasy books called the Cosmere, plus he has other series that don't have to do with the Cosmere. The dude is a prolific writer, he's a popular writer, he's a best-selling author, and yes, I am part of the fandom, and it's very likely if you're watching this video, you are too. Even if you're not though, hey, how's it going? But if you haven't heard the news, over the quarantine period of the last 2 years, Brandon Sanderson took the free time that he normally would have used to travel, and you know what he did? He wrote 4 non-contracted books that no one was expecting, and he kept them secret until now. Actually, he wrote 5, but 4 of them are adult books, and then one of them he wants to turn into a graphic novel or a middle grade something or other. And then because the dude is a genius, he decided to start a Kickstarter campaign to fund the physical creation of the special editions of these books. He basically decided to start a Brandon Sanderson book club where you get a Brandon Sanderson every quarter of 2023, and I'm in for it. Yeah, I'm part of the Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter is exploding in leaps and bounds. It's breaking records. It's going to continue to break records. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'm extremely, extremely excited, and I'm very, very hyped. In typical Sanderson fashion, he's going to be releasing tidbits of information about the books that are going to be released next year along the way. And that's where we are right now. The Kickstarter continues through March, but of course, it hit its goal in like less than an hour. It's raised over $20 million so far, and we're only moving forward. But now, what do we do? I want to mention that this Kickstarter has gotten over $20 million, and the only book in this series that we really know anything about is the first one, which got a leak today or yesterday when you're watching this video. And by leak, I mean he sent out teaser chapters. The information that we know about the books thus far is that 3 of them were supposed to be Cosmere related. 1 of them was supposed to be completely standalone, unrelated to the Cosmere. If you're new and you don't know what the Cosmere is, it is the Marvel Cinematic Universe of Brandon Sanderson fantasy books, and probably eventually sci-fi books. They're all interconnected worlds. Now we've entered this weird time on the internet where people have to avoid spoilers for a very long time because, like I said, there's been teaser chapters leaked of the first book. Some people are going to want to know nothing at all about these books at all. And if you're those people, good luck. It's going to be very hard to avoid 1 year's worth of spoilers for things that have been out. I wish you the best. I really do. If you're the type of person that wants to know absolutely nothing moving forward about this book, I suggest that you probably end this video now. I'm going to break this into segments. First, I'm going to give very, very basic contextual spoilers about what the first book is, what we know about it, without actually saying too much from the book. Then I will talk about the teaser chapters as a whole. So if you don't even want to know the title of the first book we got information on today, that is March 3rd, then please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I'll see you again next time when you're ready. If I caught the favor of the YouTube algorithm and you've never seen my channel before, thank you for coming. Please come again and hit the subscribe button, please. All right, let's talk about the very basic details of what we got from Brandon Sanderson in the Kickstarter release for March 3rd. This is just going to be me talking about the context of the title of this book and what this book is without very many details. The name of the first of the 4 Brandon Sanderson mystery books is, drumroll please, Tress of the Emerald Sea, which I think is really interesting. It's a very different title than Brandon Sanderson normally has, and we find out the reason for that in the notes at the end of these chapters. Once again, not talking about the chapters right now, but it turns out that this book is a book told from the context of Hoyd telling a story to some other character within the Cosmere. So the book is told in Hoyd's prose and Hoyd's sense of humor, for what it's worth. If you read the Stormlight Archive, you sort of know what to expect out of that. Brandon has told us that this is a true story that takes place place for real within the Cosmere. Hoyd is the type of character that is essentially a weird kind of glorified bard, and he does make up a lot of stories throughout the Cosmere, but this story is actual real events that happen within the Cosmere, though it will have the dramatic flair as told by Hoyd. So this is a book essentially written by Hoyd. This book is being told to a character in the Cosmere, not directly to us. And the events in this book, though they may be somewhat glamorized because Hoyd is telling the story, actually take place within the Cosmere, which is something that I would have worried about if you told me that there was a book basically written by Hoyd. I'd be like, well, is it even real? We have been confirmed that this is a real and true story from the Cosmere. And I think for a lot of Brandon Sanderson fans, that is the limit of the information that you will want to know. Generally speaking, it's the information I would have cared about, and I wouldn't have wanted to know much else on top of that. According to this update, we're getting an update about more information on book 2 next week. So of course, I will try my best to make a video on that as well. So once again, if you're new to the channel, I would love to see you again. Please hit the subscribe button. I am here to give you all the updates on the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter as I am able to. Thank you. I love you. I'm going to give everybody just a quick 5 seconds for those people who don't want to know anything else about my actual thoughts about the 5 preview chapters that we've been given so far. I'm going to go ahead and give you like 5 seconds to leave. But once again, please hit the like if you've liked what I've done so far. Here we go. Just make sure you're gone because I don't want to accidentally spoil you if you don't care. But if you've read these chapters, once again, I want to talk to you about them. So I hope to see you again soon. Guys, oh my goodness. I was not prepared for how much I was going to love these preview chapters. I don't think the video will have actually gone live yet when I'm posting this, but I just came off a reading of the Lunar Chronicles, and the fairy tale vibes that I had from the Lunar Chronicles, I was missing in a lot of the books that I was picking up, and I was not ready for a Brandon Sanderson attempt at sort of a reimagining of a fairy tale, and then to see that it was inspired by The Princess Bride, and you can see the elements of the humor there, and it fits so well with Hoyd's voice to be able to see a sort of twist on this Princess Bride format, but the humor's nailed so well. Let me just start at the beginning, right? It's been a minute since I've read a Brandon Sanderson book because I finished the Cosmere last year, and I was sort of just waiting, like everyone else, for Mistborn Era 2 Book 4 Lost Metal. So it's been a minute since I've actually read Brandon Sanderson, and like, guys, there's a reason this dude is a best-selling author. He's gotten better over the years, but it's really cool because these projects have allowed him to branch outside the normal realm. Like, he can't take too many weird risks with the style and tone of Stormlight at this point. We're set. We know what Mistborn Era 2 is, even though I love that. To see him take on this more lighthearted style, more whimsical style, something where we may get to see something Cosmere related that doesn't delve so hard into the magic system that it feels like I'm learning science, because it actually feels like we're getting a real life Brandon Sanderson lighthearted fairy tale that has like humor and heart and the whimsy that I sometimes lack from my favorite Brandon Sanderson series, because he loves those hard magic systems and he loves to like focus on the grittiness, not like grittiness. Obviously Brandon Sanderson is the opposite of grimdark, but this is like so far on the other side of that it's actually like, he says in the notes that it's not supposed to be a children's book, but it has the feel of the Lunar Chronicles in what we've seen so far. Like, there's the romance angle, there's the Princess Bride angle, there's the humor angle, there's the mystery angle, and I hope we really lean into that side of fantasy. It's just so good. We have the setup of the girl falling in love with this like prince-like character, and then he essentially gets captured, sold, whatever, so that this duke can have his heir. But on top of the stated Princess Bride angle, I almost get the vibe that this girl is like a hobbit. Like, she's very happy in the situation that she's in. She's very happy with the mundane life that she has. She takes fascination in the simple joys of life, but then she's forced to go on this adventure to find her love. I want this to be that sort of story. I want the characters to fall in love. Yes, I'm a perpetual shipper. What of it? This thing just flew by, and it proves that you don't have to have a bombastic, insane opening the way that most modern fantasy does, where like the prologue or the first chapter will have to have a significant crazy battle or death or weird scenario, where this book starts off very slow, Hobbit style, Princess Bride style, obviously. I'm going to stop talking about Princess Bride here. But it was just as gripping to me in a completely different way as some of the more bombastic openings of other series. I definitely think that there is going to be some people that don't like this angle of the Cosmere. They want something that's more serious, has maybe a darker tone. Like, obviously, like I said, Sanderson doesn't have the darkest tone, but this one is very light. However, I feel like a lot of people will be able to forgive it because this is not a regularly scheduled thing. This is a side project. This is him being able to get some creative juices out, him being able to spend some time exploring the other interesting ideas that he has in his head so that he can focus more when it's time to focus on the other stuff. I love that idea of him having the creative outlet. It seems like he's working so much more, but if you read the pie charts that he talked about in his video, he actually is getting more family time and more writing time. It's wild. Math can do some really weird stuff sometimes. The only negative thing about reading these preview chapters early is on me, and it's the fact that this book doesn't come out for 9 more months. Brandon, if you're seeing this video, what do I have to do to be able to get early access to this book so that I can read it and read it to my wife because she also loved it? Does it sound like I'm begging? I will beg. Don't tempt me. If it would work, I would do it. I'm just so freaking into this vibe of what I think we're going to get out of this book. And I'm really curious to see what we get out of next week's announcement because I have a feeling that each of these 4 books will just be so polar opposites on the tone, even genre scale. It is a good time to be a fantasy fan. It is a great time to be a Brandon Sanderson fan right now because dang, man, I'm just so excited. And please, if you read the preview chapters, comment down below, subscribe to the channel because most of my friends have chosen the delayed gratification route. So I can't actually talk about this with that many people, and it makes me sad because I love it so much. I was not expecting to be this excited for the new books based on the preview chapters. I wasn't sure I was going to read the preview chapters, but then I was like, now that I have, I'm so hyped for this book that doesn't come out until next January. If you're out there and you've contributed to the Kickstarter, which tier did you pick? I picked the audiobook and ebook tier, which is pretty much how I read most of my books. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I cannot wait until next week's announcement. You will find me here talking about it on this channel as soon as I am able to get that video filmed once the release comes out. Brandon Sanderson, I would love to read this book early. Thank you. I love you. I did say in a previous video that if something happens to Steris and the Lost Metal, I will burn the book in a video. And while I meant it, I consider it a separate issue to me wanting to read this book early. I hope that you understand, and I hope that we can compartmentalize these differences. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, everyone else, for watching. Be excellent to each other. Goodbye.
No one ever get enough. Always looking out tired, sleep. No one ever get enough. If I don't show up, I might get fired. Sleep, no one ever get enough. Always looking out tired, sleep. No one ever get enough. If I don't show up, I might get fired.